On in here. I hope everybody is ready to have. I don't know what kind of discussion we're going to have, but we're going to have a discussion nonetheless. So, those of you who are gathering, please, we're just trying to get people going in here. Haven't really had a lot of notice. So, hope that you all can get in here. Nobody's on yet, but hey, it's still early. Let's go. 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 So tonight I want to talk a little bit about when you are a man of God, a woman of God, or whoever you are, when the Lord, I don't want to. Maybe we shouldn't talk about it like that. Maybe we should approach it from a different point of view, right? Um, because I've been thinking about this for the last month or so. As men, we it's our jobs to build. It's our jobs to provide. It's our jobs to protect. It's our jobs to advance. And when we're trying to do that, like when we're trying to move forward and create platforms, build ministry, build businesses, build wealth, build an inheritance, it takes courage. And it's sometimes it's very scary to get out here and do those kinds of things. And so tonight I want to talk about courage. The courage that a man must have. The type of courage it takes to build, to grow, to advance, to prosper, and the weight associated with that courage. And sometimes when you are building or trying to grow something or trying to create something, it's scary. It's really scary. It's because all the pitfalls, right? All the mishaps, all of the blunders that come with it. The fear of failing, the fear of embarrassment, and what all that entails, right? Because all that has a major impact on a man's psyche. You're out here trying to build trying to grow your business, trying to advance your family. You want to make sure you can hold down and hold all this stuff together. And what happens if you fall on your face, right? What happens if you fail? What happens? How do you recover from that? How do you get back up from that? And I think that sometimes we forget that, that men really struggle with that, right? That's why, a lot of men don't want to try to build. Men don't want to try to advance because they don't want to fail, right? They don't want to fail. They don't want to fall flat on their face. They don't want to have somebody come along and tell them, I told you so. And, I'm telling you, I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like to be out here and trying to build stuff and trying to keep things going and trying to advance for your family. And all of a sudden things fall apart, right? And we could talk about it from various different perspectives, but I want to talk about it tonight from a man's perspective. I think a lot of times that the people in your lives don't understand the weight. They don't understand the pressure. They don't understand what it's like to try to go out and to achieve work every day and advance your family and advance your livelihood. And you want to do these things for your family. And the idea of failure. So I want to talk about courage. What the kind of courage that men need. The kind of courage, the support that men need to do the things that are on their heart, the visions they have, right? Because we have vision, right? There's visions we have, through dreams, aspirations, a lot of us. And the reason why there's a lot of men who don't have these things because they've been beat down, right? They've been knocked down. They've been told that you ain't gonna be nothing. You can't do that. And there's no one there in their back. There's no one there telling them to go forward. And that's what you need. That's what a good wife would do for you. That's what a good support system would do for you. That's what a good brotherhood would do for you. Because I believe there's a lot of men. I did a lot of work in prisons, and a lot of men in prison. God bless you. Good to see you, Lady Johnson. A lot of men in prison are men who are there due to broken dreams, right? Broken aspirations, and they really haven't had the courage, the encouragement that they need. So, and let me tell you something about a woman's voice. Thank you so much for sharing and tagging your friends, Lady Johnson. Thank you so much. Please, y'all, please share, tag. Um, that would be such a blessing if you did that. And so it requires a certain level. The voice, a woman's voice, her encouragement, a mother's voice, right? A grandmother's voice that speaks into the life of a man. And listen, and you got to be very careful with that, because I think that, and I'm waiting for some of the brothers to come on tonight. You got to be very careful with that. Good to see you, Elder Woods. You got to be very careful when you start talking about encouraging men, because if you do it the wrong way, it can come off as patronizing, right? It can come off as belittling, and sometimes you have to know. That's why you have to ask the Lord, how do I speak to this man in my life? How do I encourage this my son? How do I build up I have my grandson and my son, and I have to be very careful on how I speak into their life. And my wife and their grandmother, their mother, have think about how they speak into their life, because it matters. It matters what you say and how you say it, because what you want to do is you want to build, you want to encourage, you want to inspire. You want to give them the level of aspiration that they need in order to move forward. They need to hear you say, listen, you can do this. The other day I was talking to my grandson. We were coming out of swimming lessons, and we were having this conversation, and he said to me, he says, your heart, he said, I'm going to tell my children how hard on me you were. Right. And I said to him, I said, that's good. I said, but I'm going to tell you this, I am as hard on you as I am on myself. And I said to him that you cannot get anywhere without perseverance. You have to have perseverance. You have to have drives. You have to be willing to do what it takes. You have to go after it. It's going to be difficult. It's not going to be comfortable. And I think that sometimes what happens is that we forget that, right? We forget that. I'm going to share something with you a little later in our talk. Hopefully my brothers will come on. I sent them the link. But I want to talk a little bit about courage. I want to talk about what it takes to build an empire. You think about, you say what you want about Diddy, right? You say what you want about Jay-Z. You say what you want about a lot of these men who, and I could probably name a bunch of them that do great things. God bless you, Lady Miles. And so you can say a lot about them who, you say, well, they're this or they're that. But the reality is, they have accomplished a lot, and it took courage. It took courage to do that. They had to experience some losses. They had to fall on their face. They had to experience some failures. You look at Tyler Perry, right? And you say what you want. I know he's in the media now. People are talking about what he did to them and all the sexual escapades, whatever they are. But the reality is, for Tyler to be where he is, he's had to take some failures. And I don't know if you've seen a documentary on how he got started and what he did, the plays he went in, the churches, and how he lost a ton of money. He lost an exuberant amount of money doing these plays and trying to make it work and trying to be successful, and to be where he is now. And you probably wouldn't even you probably couldn't imagine what it felt like to have that level of loss. And I thought about this the other day. I said, how do you become that guy? How do you become that Oprah? How do you become these people that are doing these amazing things? How do you become them? What do you have that everybody else do not have? And I think that's the question, right? What makes them, right? What makes these celebrities, these great people great, right? It's not because they woke out of bed and they just became great. It's not because they just, rolled the dice and no, they took hits. They needed courage. They needed people behind them consistently pushing them in their corner. And let me tell you who does that, who they need more than anybody. Are y'all ready for this? They need themselves. Now, we can talk about the Lord, and I get all that too, faith and all that kind of stuff, but I'm talking about they need themselves. They need to have something in them that tells them to keep on going. They need to have something in them. You call it star power, you call it drive, you call it ambition, whatever you want to call it, but it is not easy. It is not easy to do what these people have done. And they don't get nearly the level of respect. They get kind of praise and adoration, but they don't get respect for what they've done, for the losses that they took to do what they're doing. And I think that's one of the things that we, you look at it, the common man on the street, like look at the guy that you married to, look at the brother that you have, look at your sister, look at the men in your life, and you look at them, right? You wonder, why aren't they successful? Why aren't they doing major things? And ask them, do you have the aspiration? Do you have the desire? What would you do if you could, right? What would you be if you could? And you know what you may hear? You may not hear anything. And that's the travesty, right? You may not hear anything. They might, what are you talking about? Which means they have no desire, no aspiration, no vision, right? Nothing that they're aspiring to. And that's sad. That's a sad commentary, because now you're dealing with an empty shell. You're dealing with a man who's completely empty, who's completely void, who's been, and I don't know if that's kind of how he ended up, but I believe that somehow or another, he ended up that way because of how many times he's gotten beat down, or when he's seen some people who would beat down. So if it were easy, everyone could do it. You're right. And so that's the ultimate challenge, right? Because I think that at the end of the day, that there are those people who separate the commoners from the ones who are, doing the thing, right? And so tonight, I know that there are men, I know who have great dreams, and they may have some level of fear or intimidation, right? That's another thing that I believe that a lot of our men are experiencing. Intimidation. They're intimidated. They don't feel like they're smart enough. They don't feel like they're talented enough. What the problem is, they have not figured out what their gift was. They haven't figured out what their purpose was. They haven't figured out what they really want to do with themselves. They know they want a nice house. They know they probably want a nice car. Everybody wants that. I don't know why, but everybody wants that. And that's what they want. Everybody wants the nice house. Everybody wants a nice car. Everybody wants, all that stuff. And let me tell you something. Haven't had a nice house, haven't had a nice car. It means nothing. It just, listen, let me tell you, it means nothing. That is not the goal. That is not, you won't know this until you've had it. You won't know this until you've experienced it. That is not the goal. It did, when I had these things, I was like, okay, like it didn't change anything, right? It didn't change anything. You're like maybe a little more comfortable, right? The car rides a little better, but it still got you to A to B, right? Listen, let me tell you this, it still broke down on me, right? I still had flat tires, still had to get the oil changed. Right? You still had to do the thing. You still got to do the thing that you got to do with everything else you got to do. You get a nice big house, you still got to clean it, right? You still got to protect it. You might have some luxury, but you still got to maintain it. It doesn't matter. And that's the thing. I was listening to Solomon, Ecclesiastes, and he was talking about how some of this stuff is so foolish, like the things we go after, and I think that's the problem. I think we go after things But I think it's if we don't go after things, we need to go after our passion. What fulfills you, my brother Jace Griffin, man. Good to see you, man. Won't you come on? I'm gonna put the link in so you come on. I know you say, man, you gonna tell me I'm at work. I know you probably at work. Don't matter. Still, if you can come on. All right. So tonight we're talking about courage to do the thing that you don't really want to do. Right? Courage to do the thing that you know you should be doing. Courage to take on that fight. And I want to speak into the lives of the men tonight, because I believe that there's a lot of dreams, there's a lot of desires, there's a lot of visions that are in our community that we are not fulfilling because we lack courage, right? And I want to talk a little bit about what the fears are, and maybe we can kind of unpack some of this. And I can also tonight tell you a little bit about things I've done. I've done some pretty big things. And I was sharing with my wife tonight. We were talking about kind of where I've fallen from in terms of the things that I need to do. And I see that Lady Johnson says stewardship and maintenance. Absolutely. My brother Kevin, man, good to see you, brother. God bless you, Lady Alexander. God bless you. Listen, y'all do me a favor, share, like, hit the comments. Just get in here tonight. Kevin, I'll bring you on, man. If you want to click into that link, I left the link on. But I'm talking about courage. I'm talking about the courage to fulfill your dreams. I'm talking about what a lot of our men don't have going for them. And this is not a feel sorry for me story. This is not that. I'm talking about, and I'm going to, like I said, later on, I'm going to share with you that I've always dreamt big. And you know, I always aspired to have big things and do big things. And one of the things that I know that I'm called to do is to empower others. I know that's what I'm born for. That's why I'm here, is to build others up. And I do that by the way of church and ministry. I do that by the way of talks and just encouragement. This is how I do it. I do it by way of conferences. I've done tent revivals. We've done all that kind of stuff. And ultimately, it all comes back to building up brothers, building up men, building up people, building women up, building our communities up. And so that's what it is about. And so Brother Kevin says, you got to believe in yourself first. And that's the thing, man, because I believe that sometimes when we're trying to believe in ourselves, it seems to be a fight. You know, it's because once you've had a couple of mishaps, right? You had a couple of blunders. You had a few stutter steps, blind spots, right? And you know, you have all this courage when you were young, right? All of us can aspire to. When we were kids, you know, you're ready to go, man. You know, you got these great dreams, you got these great visions, but then when you live life for a while, right? You out here, you're doing life, man. You're lifing, you know, and all of a sudden your dream is get married, right? Okay, fine. Have some kids. Okay, here you go. Find a woman, you get married, man. You on it, right? Now you got a couple of kids, right? Okay, now you feel like you're doing something. All of a sudden the marriage falls apart. Right? And you go through stuff with that. Now you got to battle that. Now you got to juggle. You got to pivot. You have to start getting your footing back, because you're going to lose some stuff when that happens, right? You're going to lose some of your assets. You're going to lose. Listen, you may not feel like you lost some of your courage, but it's a failure, and it registers in your psyche like a failure. And so now you don't see it, but it takes a little chip out of you, right? You lose a little bit when you go through that, right? The fighting, the uncomfortability, the lack of peace, the inconsistency. You have to move, or maybe you have to relocate. All kinds of stuff happen to you, man, right? Or you get out here and you're trying to life and you're doing your thing, and all of a sudden you get clipped up. Something happened. You get jammed up with the man, and then now you get locked up, and you got to deal with that, right? Or all those things start happening to you, man. And what happens is after a while, you start losing more of that young guy, that vibrant, you know, bull who's ready to take the world by its horns and do the doggone thing. And every time you run up against something, because you lose more than you gain, right? You're always trying to get it back. right? You lose it, and it's little increments. You get an eviction notice, right? Or boom, you lose your car. Boom, you get fired. Boom, you miss a bill. Boom, you get denied for a credit thing. Boom, all that chips away at you, right? And it's all telling you you're not good enough, or you didn't do it enough. And you don't see it right off, right? It don't hit you. You don't see these big deficits right away. It chips away at you. And then by the time you get about 40, 45, 50 years old, and you've been through all this hell, you're like, dang, man, now you walk in softly, right? Now you're careful about how you talking. When you in your 20s, man, you were taking nails out of wood with your teeth, right? Because it wasn't gonna stop you. But now you realize, well, let me get a hammer. I lost a few of my teeth. Let me get a hammer and take them nails out. You might get a little smarter, but the grit is gone. You lose some of that grit, and I think that a lot of times you have to almost reinvent yourself to get that back, right? I mean, you got to go into this whole big metamorphosis to really get that back, right? You got to somehow or another. You got to push back. You got to have enough gunspa and unspa and fight for you to push back, right? And coming back is not that easy. Sometimes it takes time to come back. It takes time to get back in that space again, right? The Kali I knew in my 20s, I'm smarter now, wiser, but guess what? You become more cautious. Right. And sometimes with cautious, that's fear. And sometimes with fear, man, you're not going to, you lose some of that edge, and you're going to need that edge if you're going to do what you really want to do. Right. You're going to need that edge. Come on, Kevin, man. If you're in a good spot, I sent the link out. I don't know if you saw it in the, I want Leo to come on too. My cousin here. Here's the link, man. I'll put it back in. If you can come on, and let's have this conversation, because I believe that we have some good brothers out here, and I think that a lot of times, we need to be around brothers who are going to encourage brothers to get themselves together. I was talking to a couple of brothers, and they were telling me how they felt more comfortable around brothers than they did around the sisters. They felt, actually, now you listen to this, y'all. It sounded interesting or crazy to me when I heard it, but I heard it in various different circles that they felt safe. Men feel safe around men because men, if you know what I've been through, if you understand my plight, there's a common brotherhood that all men share, because we understand how we feel. Right? We understand what it's like to take the hits, because we can't really talk to everybody about that. We're not wired that way. We can't tell. I was so blessed tonight. I'm sitting talking to my wife, and I'm telling her about actually some of the things that I gone through, right? Things that I'm fearful in ministry and building stuff, and how you get knocked down and how you lose stuff, and how it gets misrepresented, and people don't see and understand it, and you got to take those hits privately, right? You got to take those hits by yourself. And every man don't have someone in their life that they can actually share their heart with, and that person still look at them like the man they are, right? They don't, sometimes it's sad because some brothers can't talk about their fears. They can't talk about their inhibitions. They can't talk about what frightens them. Like they're taking on, like I was sharing with my wife tonight. I said, I know the Lord is pulling on me to do something. And I feel like, now I'm gonna share it with y'all, because I think it's important. I feel like I'm on, and some of y'all may be able to attest to that. Brother Kev, man, if you can come on, man, I'd like to have you come on and join with us tonight. And brother Leo, I don't know if you're still with us, man. But I was sharing with my wife tonight. I said, I sense this, I'm very spiritual. And I know that when God is pulling on me to do stuff, I've been doing it long enough to know. And I feel like that I'm on the edge of a pool. How many of you remember this? When you were learning how to swim, right? You were learning how to swim, and you're in the deep end. right? And you hold on to the edge because you don't trust yourself that you're going to be able to carry yourself, right? So I told her, I said, I sense this in the spirit. This is what's going on with me right now. I feel like I am on the edge of the pool, and I don't want to let go because I know I'm in the deep end. I know that if I let go, I gotta swim or I would sink. So it goes to that whole adage, sink or swim, right? And I know how this works. I know the Lord is really pulling me to do something major, and I'm afraid, right? I'm afraid, and that's really what's come down to. Now, first of all, you have to have a certain level of confidence in yourself to be able to say that you are afraid, right? And there's nothing wrong with saying I'm afraid to do some big thing, right? I'm afraid to invest all this money into this thing. I'm afraid that it's gonna fall on my face, right? That is a real fear, right? And that's real. And there's a lot of that going on. How do you know that you're gonna be successful unless you do take that chance, right? You never know. You never know how it's gonna work out. And sometimes you got to be careful because you can't go half-stepping. There is no training wheels at this level, right? There's no safety net anywhere, right? If you don't have a life preserver on, you don't have something to hold you up. It's either you gonna swim or you gonna sink. And when you are in that situation, it takes a lot. It takes a lot. And when you've lost, right? You've lost, and it hasn't all been losses, but when you've lost, especially as much as I've lost, right? You think, and I had some great success. Don't get me wrong now. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I haven't had success. My point is, you know what the risks are, right? You understand what the level and the risks are. There was some risks that, you take, and you're like, man, I don't know how this is going to go. But I believe, and one of the things that's crazy about this, right? That even though you've had some hiccups, you still somehow landed on your feet. The challenge is, and this is the challenge is that when you land on your feet, how do you now maneuver in that space? Because you may not be floating, you may not get what you wanted out of it, but at least you landed on your feet, right? At least you know that it wasn't a total bust. And if it was a total bust, you still got your right mind. You still got your right mindset. I remember reading a book that once a person become a millionaire, they can lose it all because they can get it all back. Some of you may not know this. Will Smith, when he was doing Fresh Prince, and you could probably see it on a documentary or something, he talks about this. And when he's on Fresh Prince, he talked about how he lost everything. He had a lot of money. He made a lot of money on Fresh Prince. I mean, he's rich, right? But he went flat broke, right? Because he's a kid, right? He's a kid, and he's out here just wilding out. Went flat broke, and guess what he did? Yeah, so you know where he's at now, right? But it wasn't easy. So he had to get with somebody that can talk to him and help him learn how to manage his money and what to do. And so he figured it out. And I'm sure it's not the only time he's had some low points, because one of the things that we don't realize, and this is with all these successful people that we see out here, they have some very difficult times. There are some celebrities who are right now waiting on tables. There are people that you've seen on television right now driving Ubers. There are some people right now who's had a lot. There's athletes. Listen to me. There are athletes who've had millions of dollars, multi-millions of dollars, who are now struggling, can't get a job nowhere, struggling, trying to make ends meet. And you know what that is? That's how, and when you see that kind of thing, you ask yourself, how did that happen? Well, it happens because there's a misstep, right? There's a blunder. There's a whatever it was. And I think that at the end of the day, we all know that's waiting for us out there. So I want to say this to you, brothers. I know the brothers didn't come on tonight, but I wish they had. But I really believe that you're going to have to first of all, understand that because you have the passion, because you have the desire, because you have the push, like if it's in you, like if you keep seeing that thing, right? If you keep seeing that thing, if you see yourself as a major contractor, right? You're building houses. I know my brother Kevin. I think he's a contractor. He's building houses, right? And one day, man, you want to build whole neighborhoods if that's your thing, right? If you were a person who wants to have a huge ministry and you want to change lives and you want to get people off the street and you want to do all those things, all that stuff requires courage. All that stuff requires you surrounding yourself with the right people who believe in you. And the problem is that a lot of us tend to gravitate to people who see us, I want y'all to hear this, see us as we see ourselves. And so if you have people around you who see you in a negative light, who don't respect you, who don't believe in you, that's because you are attracting the wrong people in your life. You have to you got to change the way you think about yourself. You got to change the way you see yourself. The people that are destined to you will be destined to you based on the dreams and aspirations that you have. If you have no dreams, no aspirations, no real drive, you're not really working on anything of any consequence, then you're going to attract people around you that's not doing anything either, right? And what happens is that when you believe in yourself, when you get yourself together, I said that the other day. I think I was talking to my wife. I said, I got to get myself together. When you get yourself together, right? Are you trying to get on? Yeah, click on the link. You see the link, man? I don't know how to send it to you. Hey, Tuck, how are you, man? Yo, you want to come on, brother Tuck? Man, click on the link. See if you guys can get on. We want to talk. Right? So one of the things that you're going to have to do, I want the brothers, y'all can come on, man. Let's have this conversation. I put the link in here. So one of the things you're going to have to do is you're going to have to get around people who are not going to coddle you. Right? You're going to have to get around people who are not going to coddle you, people who are not going to let you get away with failing, let you get away with being normal, right? Like, let me tell you something. And I don't want to, y'all listen, y'all know I talk about my wife all the time. I love my wife. My wife is amazing to me. She don't even know how I see her sometimes. Oh, you good? All right, brother. I'm glad you're good, man. And so the other day, so the reason why I said that is because, so she says to me when I first met her, right? And I knew this was a different level. You don't see the link? I put it right here in the chat. Maybe it's not. Hold on a second. All right. You know what? I'm gonna put hold on. Let me do this like this. That's okay. That's his. Hold on a second. There it is. If y'all can get that, that's the maybe I gotta put it in let me see if I might have to put it in Facebook myself. Let me see. God bless you, brother. Let me see if I can do this here. Let me see if I can do this here. All right, let me here we go. I'm gonna put it in the Facebook. Here we go. I could do it right here, I think. Come on. There you go. Can I do that there? Yes, there it is. Okay. So I just put in the Facebook all right, see if you can get it there. I put it in Facebook in the comments. So no doubt, man. So let me tell you. So what I did was, yeah, we need to talk, man. What I did was, I was sharing with her when I first met her, right? Let me tell you how crazy this was. She so we she actually was on Facebook. I didn't really have any contact with her. I seen her pictures every now and again, but I didn't even reach out to her at all. Had no real desire to. I thought she was an attractive young lady, but there's a lot of attractive women on Facebook. So, and I don't reach out like that. Never really did that kind of thing. So anyway, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't trust women. I don't trust women. So y'all might find that strange. I'm just being real. Well, listen, tricky creatures, brother. So, my man Kevin, no doubt. All right, man. There he is. What's up, man? Yes, my man. What's happening?
What's going on, brother?
Man, it's going, bro. It's going. So
okay.
Let me tell this story. So, and Kev, we're gonna get into it. So,
yeah,
so when I first met my wife, my man Scooby, my man, what's going on, brother? Yo, this is like a reunion, man. Y'all don't know what's going on here. Y'all don't know. This is something else. This is what's up, man? How you doing?
Brother, I am doing so well. I don't even know where to begin. It's a long conversation. I just want you to do what you're doing, and I'm here to hear that message right now. That's what's up.
Yeah. So check it out. So when I first met my wife, right, she was on Facebook, and I said, "Wow, it's a pretty girl, but I ain't mess with it because I don't trust women like that. I've been around them all my life, man. Like, and it seemed like the more beautiful they are, the more challenging they were. And so, so I was like, all right. So but then my spiritual mother passed away, and she popped up in my and I was just kind of going through it. And she was like, listen, I'm praying for you. I know it's hard to lose somebody you love and blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden now she was on my radar. Like, whoa. So I said, okay. So I said, I reached back out, thank you very much, blah, blah, blah. And then we somehow or another, man, we kind of text back and forth a little bit, inbox, whatever. And then so I said, well, I want to meet her for coffee. I figured coffee was safe, right? It wasn't a commitment. It wasn't a date. If I can get up and go, if she crazy, I'm good, right? No fuss, no fuss, no foul. So I was like, yeah, let's go have coffee. And then so I texted her. I said, will you mind meeting for coffee today? She said, well, no, I don't really want to do coffee. I don't have time for coffee. She said, I want to meet later when I get off work. I'll meet you. I was like, oh, here we go. So, but I was a little impressed with it because she kind of pushed back, right? And I said, okay, so let's meet up. And I was like, this is not a date. So I went in sweats, sneakers. I was like, this is not a date. This is not a commitment. I'm just meeting you because you couldn't meet me earlier, right? I'm running already because I want no nonsense out of this. So anyway, I'm sitting down at the restaurant. I get there before her, and she walks in, man, and she has this bag, right? It's a gold bag, and I'm like, who said anything about bringing gifts? Right, so I'm already on edge because I'm not prepared. I'm like, what are we doing? And she walks in with this thing, I'm like, oh man, come on. So then she looking at me, and I'm not really happy because I'm like, I feel like I'm not prepared. Like, who's doing gifts? We just meet for coffee. We meet to have a snack. So anyway, but this is what she said to me, man. It messed me up. She said, I just know that I'm coming to meet a man of God, and I was trained never to come to meet a man and did not bring him a gift. I said, huh? She said, you're an apostle, you're a man of God, and you should never come into a man of God's presence without a gift. I was like, what are you gonna say to that, right? And so I looked in the gift, and it was these little, it's crazy, little chocolate covered gold chocolate coins. And I said, okay, now I know she crazy. Like, what you bring me chocolate for, right? It didn't make any sense to me. No sense to me, right? I said, all right, well, I guess I can do the gift. Then she says to me, no, there's something inside. And so in the bag, there was a bottle of cologne. and the cologne was Eternity, which I've never smelled, which I never knew anything about. And I was like, well, how do you even know I like
Calvin Klein?
Calvin Klein. Like, how do you even know? Like, we don't talk about this kind of stuff. So how do you even know? And so she began to explain, and for that one moment, she saw me as who I was. And I didn't even see myself that way anymore. I didn't see myself as a king. And she was coming to see a king. And she knew when you come to see a king, you never come empty-handed.
That's right.
And I was like, holy smokes. That's how much I've lost going through life, that I could not even appreciate who I was anymore. And it took her to see me for who I really was. And I was like, oh.
Brought it to your attention.
Absolutely. And let me tell you something, man. It was a moment in time that I was able to realize how far off from who I am that I was thinking of who I am. Does that make sense? Like, I was so far away from who I really am. You follow? Like, in my own thinking, I've lost so much. Like, that to me, it was ridiculous to bring me a gift.
Unaware?
Right? It was ridiculous for her to bring me a gift in my mind.
Right.
But it was proper from who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should be bringing me a gift to come in my presence.
The king.
You see what I'm saying, brother? Like, that's how we should think. But because we've been through so much hell, we've been through it. We
don't recognize it no more.
You don't recognize it, man, because like I was saying that, after failure after failure, mishap after mishap, eventually you start feeling like you just glad to be in the room.
Sometimes, yeah.
But you should not be just glad to be in the room. You should demand a space at the table. You follow what I'm saying?
Thank you.
That is what I'm saying. Like, we're just so happy to be there. Like, whoa. I called the meeting.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying? The meeting didn't happen because I'm if it don't go on unless I'm there. Like, that's how we should think. And that's how I used to think when I was a young man. Like, that was the grind. That was the grit. Right? That's how you knew you overcome. Go ahead, brother. I'll let you go and talk, Kev. I know you got something you want to chime in.
No, I mean, just to piggyback off of what you said, we when we're younger, we got this big bravado on us because we're younger. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't take effect until you start to get older, and then reality sets in. You know what I'm saying? Reality really sets in at 30 and 40. Now here you are, you at 50. Like, where did all these years go? But the one thing that's always kept me grounded and keep me going every day is that I remind myself that I'm from a village in New York. I'm not even from a town. I'm from a village. So for everything that I accomplish and for everything that I do, man, can't nobody mess with me. Can't nobody tell me nothing about myself because I come from a village of 4 square miles.
Is it 2 point? Oh, wait, I thought it was 2 square miles.
It's 4.
Is it 4? Come on,
4 square miles.
Yeah, I'm just gonna chime in just for a moment.
Go ahead. Okay.
His situation is just a little bit different from mine.
Okay.
The thing is, I've had the luxury of being where I'm from. The ghetto.
Mm-hmm.
You know what it is.
Yeah, no doubt.
And with that luxury, I've had big brothers and father figures to lead me, to teach me how to conduct myself and understand simple things when it comes to women. You are who you are, the king. And if a smile, if all you have to bring to the table is a smile and a body, then we have to we have to push to the side. We want something more.
Yeah.
I'm successful in my marriage. I mean, I have some ups and downs like most people do, but like you, I almost said Weasel. I'm sorry. I couldn't even remember your name. Oh my God! I'm sorry, brother. I didn't mean to do that to you.
No, it's all good, brother. It's all good. It's all good. Respect.
But my wife, we had that long conversation, and as we move forward, there's some tough decisions to make. But she understands that, something. I have that final say so. And then, but guess what? That on the other side of that coin. Let me tell you something. Women know how to reason. Women can reason, and I'm lucky that sometimes I have to sit down and just listen to what she needs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean,
hey Scooby, it took me a long time to realize that. It took me a long time. It took me a long time to realize it. A marriage got divorced a year later. It took me a while to realize that, man. And you have to in life, especially when you're talking with a partner, especially somebody that's down for you, man, you gotta you have to come to the table and sit down at the table and talk it out.
Absolutely. I mean, with every step you take, we're in the routine every day. We're in this routine-based life, okay? And I have a scenario the way I do it. Okay. Every 3 months, I gotta change my routine.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But the thing is, if you just walk down a straight street one day, just walk down a straight street, and then turn the corner. When you turn the corner, you don't know what's going to be around that corner. It could be a wavy or a swervy line. It could be a curve.
Yep.
You just don't know what you're going to get.
Right.
So what you want to do, what I try to do is prepare myself for the unknown and be focused. Not only with my wife, but in my life. Because that's what people are like. When you meet people, you never know what you're going to get. So you have to prepare yourself with each step. Don't be so cautious that you're not able to make the step. Because guess what? You're going to make the step because life is going to make you make that step.
One of the things that I'm listening to, man, I hear you guys, is it's a level of the ability to communicate. Right? Absolutely. Communication, you got to learn, because communication is listening and articulating, right? And because listening is so important. I think sometimes when we are trying to communicate and we forgo, because we all been in arguments, right? With that one, right? You going back and forth, and you ain't even listening to what she's saying.
I got a sister. I love I gotta say that. I love this woman. I really do. I mean, and she ain't here now, so she can't even hear me saying this, but I love that woman.
But you trying to, you listen to what she's saying, but you ain't listening, but you trying to figure out what you gonna say next.
Right.
Because you want to try to make sure that you ain't listen. She's saying a whole bunch, and what I found out, man. And let me tell you what I had to learn. Once I found the right one, and it wasn't just that she was the right one. I had to mature. I had to go to therapy. I had to check.
You got to change. You got to change.
Yeah, and I love what you said, man, because you have to make sure that if you find yourself in the same old predicament with different people, the problem is you. Right. And if the problem is you got to check and say, what do I need to do about me? Because that's what happened to me, Scoop. That's what happened to me. I know it's your nickname. And listen, man, when I say that name, I say it with all respect, because he was a wrestler, man. My man, listen.
Hold on. What is my name? Do you know my name?
Scooby. No, George Tucker.
There you go. I wanted to just no.
I just learned it.
What's my name? Scooby.
I just learned it.
Yeah.
All right.
But anyway, we used to go camping, man. Mr. Hogan, I remember all that.
Yeah, man, we got history, brother. We got history.
Yeah. Wrestling. Oh man. So this was a wrestler, man. We
got more history than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell you about our history, but that's not what we're here for.
That's not what we're here for. That's
right. I'm kind of happy that you just said that you landed on the point. The change. It's for a man. It's really tough because depends on how you grow up. We get set in our ways from Tom, Dick, and Harry that's trying to tell us how to conduct ourselves around, whether it be women or even men.
Yeah.
But every time you take a step, you got to look to the left and look to the right, because sometimes the way we perceive the way somebody says it, especially a woman, you take a position instead of saying really receiving what a woman is, her intent. And if she loves you, you got to say, guess what? She's talking to me out of love. And we have to put down those defenses.
That's that part, bro. Let me tell you something.
You're right.
And brother Kev, let me tell you something, man. When I realized that the problem was me, and I went to therapy, right? I was like, listen, man, you gotta get yourself fixed. You out here preaching to people, you inspiring people, but why is your stuff always jacked up, right? Why you always got this mishap? You can teach it, right? You can teach it, but you can't do it. Right. And that's the problem, right? A lot of times we can teach stuff, but we can't do it. And that's where we have to come to terms. So what I did was I went to therapy, man, and I started learning that there was some things that I had to do, like being able to listen, being able to communicate, being able to take a step back and say, okay, let me put myself in her predicament. Let me try to see where she's coming from. Let me actually, here we go, listen to what she's saying.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
And brother,
can I answer that real quick?
Yes, sir.
I appreciate everything that you just said, and I think that we will just want to add to that listening and absorbing what's being said. But if you want to be successful, and this is just my personal thought, you have to be able to listen, and when you listen deeply and you understand, you have to come back with an offering.
Wow.
You have to offer.
Right.
Because guess what? When I listen to, say, my wife, and I don't agree with her, I have to come back with an offering to say, you know what? I might not get what I want, but I'm going to get some of what I want.
Compromise, right?
Compromise big time.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Helen.
Compromise big time. You have to.
You got to compromise. And I think that's the thing too, because let me tell you something. One thing I realized, I don't know exactly what happened. Kevin, I'm gonna let you go in a minute and let you talk. I didn't, something she said or something she did. And I could have took offense to it. And I said to myself, man, that was foul, right? But I thought it was foul in the context that I saw it, right? And what I said was, wait a minute, wait.
Isn't that's not funny her. How you just said your perception? Perception. Man,
I said, that's not her. I said, that's not her heart. She wouldn't do that to me, brother. And it was
thank you. I said, glad you said that.
You got to. I said, that's not what she would do. That's not her. That's you.
Yep.
Because you grew up in the village in New York.
That's right.
I mean, because you know something. What you just based on just what you just said, it's like saying something. I remember when you was dating this lady. I can't even call your first name. Give me your first name, please.
Collie.
Pastor.
Oh,
Chris.
who? Yeah, my last name is Chris. Collie, Willie Chris. Remember Willie Chris? They used to call me Willie
Yes,
Chris.
I do know that. You used to be like best friends with my brother.
Yeah. I used to work with your brother.
Yo, we got history, like I said.
Yeah,
But what I mean is, sir, is when you meet somebody that draws you in and captures your heart for all, and when a woman captures your heart, what happens is that you're putting forth all of these best efforts to show this person who you really are. You're not holding back. And once that happens, if she says something that differs from your way of thinking, because you got to remember, a woman has a way of thinking too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you got to pull back and say, okay, she's thinking this way. What am I going to, how can I show her that I'm on her side?
Yeah, that's interesting.
You gotta really like say step back, because I deal with this stuff all the time. And when I differ from a woman, I mean we fight like most couples do. But then I gotta say, the first thing I say, when she says something, I already gotta put myself in I gotta step to the side and say, she's on my side. She's doing this for our best benefit.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right. You can't. That's why you got to let down that pride.
Yeah.
You got to let down that pride and say, okay, let me like reevaluate what I'm going to say to this woman, because it ain't about how I feel. It's about how us.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a two-way street.
Right. But even more. I'm sorry, cut you off. Even more.
No, do your thing, bro.
That shows how much you've grown.
Yeah.
If you believe it or not, that shows how much you've grown, because you're now looking at it from her perspective, when before you didn't used to do that. You just used to go off of your bravado. And we all know when you go off of your own bravado, that's not getting you anywhere.
Men don't do that. And what I mean is, when I say men don't do that, the thing is, we're not taught to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we're not taught to step back. And I mean, again, let's go back to the road. You're driving down the road, or we're walking down the road. All of a sudden, there's a curve. You're gonna go with the curve, and then you're gonna go straight, and then there's a wiggly line. But we're not taught to slow down and read all the signs.
Right.
You know, we don't know if you don't read all the signs. Construction signs. Railroad signs. You know, a lot of people make mistakes because they don't focus on something simple that's right in front of us. The answer.
Yeah. You know something, man. And Kev, I remember my wife. So, and that's a good point, because I'm used to doing everything myself, right? Like, you just grinding. You do what you gotta do. You set your schedule. You gotta get it done. And my wife said to me one day, she said, "Listen, I'm right here. Like, why you run around doing all that? I could have took care of that. I could have went and got the clothes out the cleaners. I could have went and got that over there. You out here just running, gunning, right? And I'm right here." And I said to her, I said, because you get so locked in, right? You get so locked in the way you do things that if you're not careful, you will get the help you need, but you have to learn how to utilize the help you get.
That's right.
And sometimes the woman's her significance, because and let me tell you something. I remember when I used to do this when I talk to brothers. I used to go to prisons and teach women in prisons. And what I realized is that probably about 80 to 90% of the women that were locked up because they were trying to stand by their man. There is a natural instinct that a woman is born with to support her man. And
it's locked in.
Yeah, it's locked in. And they'll be like, "Well, what happened? I was holding his drugs. What happened? I went and I was a lookout. What happened? I told a lie. right? This is, and it's like they just want to be a part. They
Right.
want to be a part.
A
Whatever he's
woman,
doing.
when a woman loves you, they're gonna do everything, not anything, everything.
That's right. That's
Now,
right.
let me hit you with one real quick thing, real quick.
Mhm.
Okay, and I always try to tell young brothers this. I say, you know something? You with your girl and buy a meal for your girl. It could be a simple meal or whatever, and don't buy nothing for yourself. And say, tell her, say, honey, I didn't have a whole lot of money, but the money I had, I wanted you to eat. I'm not gonna eat tonight, but I wanted you to eat. And just check out her reaction. And you know what her reaction? Most 9 times out of 10, I would say, she's gonna say, no. I got money, or we're gonna share this meal. She ain't gonna let you go hungry.
Go without, right?
And you gonna know what kind of woman you got from right that point.
Right
That's
there.
just like whatever it is. We
My wife
in this together.
Man, my wife don't even want to. If I'm not eating with her, she don't even want to eat. She'll be like, I'm like, no, you go ahead. She said, you sure? Because I don't, brother. If I'm coming through late, she like, I'm gonna be late. She said, well, I will wait. I'll wait to have dinner with you.
Right.
She and that's how you know. Like you like, okay, that's different level. That's next
Pastor,
level.
where you get that woman from, man? Did you
Man,
mail
God.
order that one?
God,
You
brother.
had to mail order that one. I mean,
God, brother.
you know, I ain't mad at you or nothing, because I didn't get that kind of woman. I got that kind of woman that I had to. Yeah, let me tell you about my woman real quick, and it's gonna be real quick. When I met my girl, she's never been overseas. She's never been on a plane. She's never did anything, because she's a Southern woman, and she was always taught that never get on a boat, never get on a plane. So when I just opened up her whole life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But after she got used to that scenery, all of a sudden it became, how do I say, the norm. You know what I mean? But the norm for her was, let me tell you something. I'm going to bring this man his food first. I'm going to make sure his house is clean.
Yep.
And I met her with 4 kids.
Wow.
Yeah. And it wasn't like it was just one kid, but she was so fantastic. I was like, who threw this woman away? Who threw this woman away?
That's how I felt, bro. It's like, who gave this woman up, boy?
I'm like, you know what? So when she talks, you know, whether I agree or disagree, because sometimes I really do disagree, but then I go back into my own personal space, and I always say, let me see what it is. Let me put it on the table. Firstly, she's doing this for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I put that first, I don't have no problem. I don't have no problem.
And that takes a lot, man. So Kevin, man, I heard you said that you got married, divorced, man. So how'd I mean, how'd you feel after you came through that, man?
Oh man.
Yeah, what is that like?
That right there, it felt like somebody took the rug from underneath my feet. Because you gotta realize that being where we come from, we come from a dysfunctional family, and ain't no man in the house. For me, there wasn't no man in the house, so I'm being raised by my sisters. My brothers is out in the streets, so there's no guidance from them. I'm looking up to, you know what I'm saying? So I grew up with wanting a family. I've always wanted a family. You know what I'm saying? So
one
when
question. One question for you.
Go ahead.
You were saying no big brothers around. So I mean, when I look at big brothers, because you know I grew up, my dad was a felon, and he did a lot of jail time for whatever. We're not getting into that. But the thing is, growing up, I started finding other big brother figures. I think pastor could understand this. We went to camp with Salvation Army. Did you
Yep.
do it?
Oh yeah,
And I
absolutely.
believe his name was Joe. I can't Hogan. I think
Hogan. Yep.
Hogan. You know, he was a big brother. He was a big inspiration when I was like this kid. You know, where he took us camping and he was trying to teach us and mold us, and they kept us off the street. And then what I learned from just that little simple act, I started leaning towards brothers that meant well in terms of what I was going to learn from them. I met some other brothers that weren't so cool. I went down some roads that wasn't so cool. But what my question to you is, based on what you were just saying, were there any other big brothers? Yeah, I mean, and they don't have to be significant. They could be just these minor brothers that were trying to lead you to aid you in terms of your decision making to be who
Right,
you are.
right, right. And um, you can say that there were some, but then growing up, it's like they're very
Anybody stand out the most to you? Who stood out? That if you were to walk up to them, you want to shake their hand and say, you know something, brother, you know something. Thank you for being that moment. Thank you for being a choice to make me grow.
I
I'm
can't
not
say
in
that.
jail.
I can't say that. I can't honestly. I can't say that there was somebody that really impacted my life to the point where I could go up to him and say, thank you. Everybody, everybody that turned my role model or whatever the case was,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't want to go down that route because that person's going down that route. I don't want to go down this route because he's over there doing drugs or he's over there drinking or whatever it was. Um, so I got married,
Mm-hmm.
happiest day of my life because I had finally found somebody
Yeah. Yeah. I feel
and
you, man.
it was like the heavens opened up for me. The light was shining down on me and
That's an
everything was so
achievement. That's
it
an
was
Yeah.
achievement.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so I felt like I was on top of the world, right? Okay, fast forward 6 months down the line, 8 months down the line, 9 months down the line, it starts to arguments, this and that. And finally she just came to me one day and she was like, yo, I'm not happy. I want out.
Wow.
Damn, wait a minute, wait, hold on. We took a vow before God. I don't
Wow.
know what you're thinking right now, but you better go lay down in a room somewhere and we come revisit this or something. She's like, nah, it's not that, and I'm just not happy.
Wow.
I said, well, all right. Now I done gave up everything. I done gave up materialistic wise. I done gave up everything.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Here I am with a blended family. You know what I'm saying? Here it is. My daughter now is now introduced to this woman. You know what I'm saying? But even with that, I seen I seen the I seen the telltale signs. So it was like, all right, well, I'm not going to force you to be with me. I'm not going to make you be with me. And we had went down the whole counseling path, and we had did all of that. We went down the counseling path, and we did all of that. And it was just like, I'm not happy. So I said, all right, well, I'll tell you what. I had promised your mother on the couch. I said to her, I said, I promise you, if you give me your blessing and this doesn't work out, I will return your daughter the way that I found her. I promise you that. Meaning there's no there's no fighting and divorce. There's no none of that. I'll leave. I'll go my own separate ways. I will not contact her no more. And you know what? That's just what I did. I said, I made a promise to your mother. I made a promise to this woman in her face. And I'm not going to break that promise for nobody. And I did just that. It was the hardest. Oh, man. You talking about somebody that was, you talking about it was hard, and you talking about financial. Man, I was living out of a 20 by 5
Ooh.
foot container, metal container during the summer months and the winter months, and nobody knew what I was going through.
Wow.
Nobody knew what I was going through, and I held it. And then I worked that job, and I stayed there on that property. I got another job, and I worked 18 hours a day, 5 days a week. I'm talking about, I would literally go from one job, go take a shower, and go straight to the next job, straight into that shift. 18 hours, and I
You
did it
posted
for
something like
6
that, man.
months.
Yeah.
I hope you were saving some of that money.
I did it for 6 months. I did it for 6 months, and I did it to get back on my feet, and I just kept it moving. And
Wow, man. Let me ask you a question. Kev,
to where I came from.
let me ask you a question, man. Because that's devastating. You know, my wife and I was having this conversation the other day, man. I was like, you know, when a woman comes to a man or a man comes to a woman, be like, I'm done, and you do everything to make it, fix it, and make it right. Man, that takes a lot. I mean, that level of rejection, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know what her issue was, right? We only hearing your side, and all fairness to her, I don't know, right? However, the fact that she actually started that, right?
Right.
And you tried to do what you can to fix it. And then to be in that predicament, right? Because see, that does something to you. That does something to your psyche. That does something to your masculinity, right? It has to.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Because now here it is, man. You like you said, the sky opened up. You saw the light at the end of the tunnel. You about to get this family that you've been craving. There's another brother, y'all know who he is, David Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I don't know if you know him, Mr. Tucker. But Dave is he married Wendy Mood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah,
Wendy
you know
Mood.
Wendy,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's her husband.
Yes.
And so he was one of those who came out of jail, right? Came out of a rough life. He was on one of our podcasts we did a while back, and he was telling his story about he had absolutely no father. In fact, he don't even know who his father is to this day.
Right.
Never met him. He said, in fact, he was in a home where the other kids, because he was in a blended situation, the other kids had a father. They would come get their kids on the weekend and leave him there.
Right.
They come back, they went fishing, they got McDonald's.
What a good
man, right? And he said, man, it made him so angry because he didn't have a father. And let me tell you something, man. But once he got himself together, he is a great father. Because you know what? He wanted.
Well, I know what. I know what. When you say that,
So you know
I
what?
I really know what. Because
I think, I want to finish this thought.
Please.
And when I listen to Kevin, and I see that kind of desire, man, because that desire, that desire, feel like you had that in your hand,
Mm-hmm.
and then to see it slip right out of your hand,
Right.
and there's nothing you can do about it
Now,
because you can't control the other part of that. You know what I'm saying?
I got it. You know,
Yeah,
and let me tell you what I'm hearing when you say that. I've been a lot of men, not most men, but a lot of men. It's built in our DNA to take charge and be problem solvers. That's what men do. We solve problems, even whether it's a big or even on a small schedule. Okay, and because of that, we long to be in a situation, and we want to prove to ourselves that America has taught us, that you raise a family, you have a wife, you have these kids, and you want to push your gene pool to the next level.
Right.
That's just what it is. So I'm not mad at you, brother. I'm kind of like, I understand what he's saying, but what kind of hit me when he was talking, it struck a chord inside of me that I didn't think about for a long time. But I'm gonna share it with you. I'm married now, and I love my wife. And that's just what it is. I ain't going nowhere. She ain't going nowhere, and I ain't gonna let her go nowhere. That's just my point.
That's right.
You know what I mean? We got, we have a wonderful home. We have kids, grandkids, and all that kind of stuff. But I had a woman before her. In my mind, when I look at it today, and my woman ain't here, so I'm talking freely. This was the perfect woman that I ever had in my life.
Wow.
I mean, she was like maybe 10 years older than me.
Okay.
But this was a woman of God. And I don't know what she was doing to me, but she was like leading me. I thought I was leading. The next thing you know, I'm in church every Sunday. Now I'm going to Bible study. Then I got baptized. And I turned into this different person. I mean, and let me tell you something. When you get a woman that likes to exercise, I've always exercised.
Yeah.
Chris, if you would have seen me right now, I'm going to be one of these guys that's going to be a good-looking man. I walk up to you and say, "Dog, this guy looked like he was when I met him when I was in high school." I mean, I still got my bill, bro.
You still got it, huh?
You know what I mean? Like you. I see you on your when you throw it out there. You did your 4 or 5 mile work runner. Yeah. I'm like, I be like, I'm like, when I see that, I'm like, thank you. I love that shit. Keep what you doing, bro.
Yeah, you got to keep it up, bro.
And what I want to tell you is, if you don't do this in the morning, take a multivitamin, take your fish oil, take a probiotic, and take vitamin D. You gonna be good.
I do that every morning, bro.
You know what I mean? You are gonna be good.
And a few others. I do magnesium too, man. I
was gonna say, I'm sorry, I didn't say that. Let me say it again. Take your multivitamin, take your magnesium, take your fish oil, and take your probiotic. Those are the basic ones you need. That's and right, you take that. If you take that, you go in the bathroom regularly, and your skin's gonna be good.
Yes,
and,
sir.
Guess what? You're gonna be all right, bro.
Yes, sir. Right. I found the secret.
I mean, outside of that, I take one more. I take what the hell I take? So when you get older, you know that your muscles start to deteriorate.
Yeah.
So if you don't want your muscles to deteriorate, and it only deteriorates if you're not working out. But if you're working out, it's not going to happen.
Kev works out. Kev works out.
Cool. You're funny.
Listen, I don't have no other choice.
That's a blessing. That's a blessing. But take a
I take a CoQ10 too, man.
Well, I have a multivitamin that includes that.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say was, what the hell? I'm looking at my vitamins. You're making me look at my vitamins right now. I wasn't planning on doing this, but it's like a nitric oxide booster, and there's another one. I'm not even really on getting that. Let me get back to what I was talking about. But the point what I was making about this other individual, she was a little bit older than me, so she had a little bit more knowledge than I did in a certain area. And she was a woman. She was a woman that had a spiritual side. She worked out. She ate right. And we lived together for maybe 12 years.
Wow.
She had a daughter that came to visit us, which was into acting.
Okay.
And we lived in a 1-bedroom apartment. And we started knocking heads.
Wow.
Because I worked late, I would come home, say, 10 o'clock or something like that, or whatever. And when you get home from a long day's work,
Yeah, man.
you're just trying to unwind real quick, because morning's coming quick. And we started bumping heads. And she had conversation with her mom, and her mom said foolishly one day to me, "Well, you can leave."
Oh.
Yeah. And my pride.
Yep. Got that boy. Got that 914 pride.
Men just don't understand how pride works. I don't think something. That's why I have to examine everything I say when it comes to my woman, because I have to put her first and say, let me say, oh, this is for us.
Right.
You know what I said to this woman when she said that? Because guess what? I'm Scooby goddamn D.
That's right. You know I go tell him what to do.
And guess what? I had big brothers always teach me. Guess what? I got 15 or 20 grand in my goddamn checking account. I got the 401k. I don't need to be with you. But then I forgot. You know what I forgot? I forgot all the things that she put in front of me. And I'm like, oh my, we go on to church like 2 times a week. We getting the message. We doing our thing. And I'm like, and we're working out. And we were like a power couple, because I was like 30 or something, and she was like 41 or 42. So we got great jobs, and we're traveling. Chris, Pastor, her family and my family went on a cruise together even.
Wow.
Wow. You see what I'm saying? But let's get back to what I'm saying. The point, what I'm trying to make is, when people allow allow our pride to get in the way, and I got blinded by that little things. Men make bad decisions when they start thinking about self.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I want to go back to what the brother was saying. You know what I mean? He was saying that, and no disrespect to you, brother Louis.
Yeah.
What's your name, bro? Kevin. Okay. No disrespect to you, Kevin, but I was listening to what you were saying, and what I was feeling when what you were saying, it is deep, and it kind of touched me, because, like you were saying, it didn't seem like, or I didn't feel like you had a big brother or a father figure to put his hand over your shoulder to reel you in and give you that understanding on how to conduct business when it came to, as you moved along. And it's kind of really, it's really kind of tough. And I'm not blaming you or anything. And I mean, with all respect, I mean, you seem to me, I just met you right now. You seem to be this real good brother. And I'm sorry that this woman felt this way, because anytime a woman all of a sudden stops her game, it has nothing to do with how much money you make, or if you don't.
Well, I'm gonna stop you right there, because in this situation, looking back on it, it came to the financial aspect then. You know what I mean? So I met her. I'm from the movie industry, so I build movie sets. She's from corporate America. So combined, it's like, yo, you got a Jay-Z and a Beyonce right here. I'm making 6 figures, she's making 6 figures, and we come together. But what she didn't want to take into consideration is that the movie industry is just that. It's a movie. So once you finish your job, boom, it's done.
Yeah.
You don't know when the next time you're going to work.
Like an actor.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it. The set is built. Everything is done. The set is torn down. You move on to the next movie. So once I lost my job, everything came into play. Everything started coming into premonition now. So I said, looking back on it now. So I said, damn, man. I thought you was going to be down for me. Like,
yeah, it's depressing.
It felt like you kicked me while I was down. That's what it felt like. I'm already down. As a black man, I'm already down. I'm messed up. In society's eyes, I'm messed up. But for your own black woman to kick you while you down, mentally, that's damage.
Yeah, and I hear that, man, because I think what happens is a lot of, and this is something that we can probably another conversation for another day, but the women are not like Brother Scoop
Bill,
said
like they used to be, Bill.
Absolutely, man. They're really in it for what they can get, and they got, and most of them have women in their lives that ain't got no man, can't keep no man, give them advice on how to handle you, right? And so now here it is, you get approached with this, this whole I'm not happy, and we can, like I said, it's a conversation another day, but I believe that she didn't know what she had.
Are you smarter now?
He said, yeah.
Oh, I'm way smarter, way wiser, and way happier.
Well, Kev, what would you do?
When I say that, I'm sorry, sir. Okay. When I say, are you smarter now? What that means is, are you smart enough? And I'm only saying this because I went through an episode, say 20 years ago, where I lost my job. I was making, say, 80 grand a year. I was like, I had a wonderful job, and I was working for an insurance company, and my job was, how do you say? They sold off a block of the company, and it was going to the Indians or wherever and they sold a block of the company, and that happens all the time.
Right.
And next thing you know, instead of getting $4,000 or $5,000 a week or every 2 weeks, you don't have no money.
Like nothing.
So it put me into a depression. I mean, a serious depression.
Right.
Where for a year I was feeling numb and I couldn't go outside. I was afraid to go outside.
Wow.
And I was on medication for like 2 years.
Wow.
And I said to my wife, I said, honey, something is wrong with me. I went to her when I first thought it. I said, something is wrong with me. I said, if I go outside, I'm going to die. I said, I'm not going outside no more. And I stayed in my bedroom, right where I am right now. And she said, George, we got to get you to a doctor. I went to the doctor, and they diagnosed me with this depression. And I laid in a bed for forever, just taking a shower, getting back in bed.
Wow.
And so I guess when I say that to you, change. This is about change. How do you weather change? Because it's tough. I mean, and then you have to recognize signs.
Absolutely.
When I look at you, brother, I'm just seeing you on the screen. But I see from your passion, you're probably a really good ass brother, bro.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a good dude.
that's what I'm
He's a
saying.
good dude. And that's why when I listen to his story, man, I think about she don't know what she was doing.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
let me tell you what really went down, Kev. And this is the crazy thing. I was in a situation. I was married to another woman, and I said, let me do what I can to reconcile this thing. So I went and bought this huge house, and we're gonna make this work. And it didn't work. Right. So
Right.
so we was having a discussion one day, man, and I never forget this. And she was telling me how she felt about something, like, well, and she walking away from me, and I'm looking at this woman, I'm like, and I'm feeling some kind of way. And I'm telling you, man, I heard God say to me, bro. I heard God say to me, and I never even thought about this. He said, she thinks she giving you another chance. And God said to me, I'm giving her another chance with you.
There you go.
You see, like, so the problem is, man, that the value of a man is so high.
Right.
But because we spend so much time trying to help women recognize their value, that somehow
not only that, we spend time recognizing women and their value, but also we're trying to live up to society's circumstance. You know what I mean? Because society says that you gotta have a car, that you gotta have this, that, and the other. And women buy into that. That's how they look at it.
Well, that's the mistake, right? Because now the real value, the number one value, the number one thing. Not number one. Excuse me. I'll reduce that. But one of the major attributes.
One thing of many
is having a solid man,
right?
Who is really there for you, man. I'm telling you, man. I know women who will take half of what you are. You follow what I'm saying?
Lucy used to tell me your story, so I know you know women.
Yeah,
I'm kidding with I'm kidding when I say that.
No, you're not. Half of what you are. And see, that's the problem, man. I think the reality is God was probably sparing you, because when you do come into your own, she won't be worthy in the mentality that she had in your space.
Right.
Brother, I'm telling you, I keep thinking about this. I said, man, the woman I got now, my God, she deserves more than what I could ever have given her.
You know the word you're saying? You're saying honoring that woman.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. And let me tell you how I honor her, because she honored me first.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying?
I'm proud of you, bro.
Yo, bro, you don't know.
There you go.
No, I do know. But believe me, it took me a minute to get, like, what I'm saying to you. Let me tell you something. The woman I got right now with 4 kids, you know how many fights and devastation that we had to go through before we finally pulled it together? I mean, I met these kids when they was 12 and 13, and you ain't my dad, and I ain't listening, and guess what? And guess what, Pastor? You know I'm a military man, right?
Yeah.
So you know I walk a certain kind of walk.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I mean? And guess what? And plus, you know I'm kind of hard. You know I'm hard.
Yeah.
You know, I had to bounce a head or two. You know, and bouncing a head or two only created more resentment.
Oh yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
You know what I mean?
I was in the same situation, and there's 3 teenagers.
Ooh.
So I'm like, damn, man.
You know that.
Here it is. Here it is. I'm bang. Now they see a man come into their space. Boom.
Yeah.
Oh, you ain't my dad, but I provide over here. I
Yeah.
provide the roof over your head.
That's the
I
wrong
provide
answer,
these
though.
bills right here.
That's not the right answer,
So
though, bro.
Yeah.
you know, it was that.
He's thinking like, not to cut you off, bro. Respect.
Yeah.
That's how I thought too. And it took me, when they were like these, going into the teenager age, till I started thinking a little different. And then I had to deal with one at a time. I had to get one. Once I got one on board, you know what? Guess what? I put one in a class, boxing class. You know what I mean? I had to work with one. Oh, he's the favorite. Then I had to like lean out. I say, yo, you can be a part of this too. You know what I mean? And then once the door is open, you have to continue. You have to be consistent when you're dealing with any children.
Man, see, and Scoop, that's the thing.
They used to always see me working out. I mean, they was impressed. With damn this guy, he's built. He's always doing this. I say you can do it too. Oh,
Right.
And if you consistent, and guess what, you're gonna have some setback along the way, but don't let that deter you. Don't let that deter you. Buy some gifts. You have to be giving before because they're kids. They don't know.
That's the thing. Yeah.
You have the
Right.
whole. You got it in your hands. You got to give. It's kind of unfortunate for me to say this, but you got to, and you have to put it in a situation that if you're gonna give within your means. Give within your means, but you have to be that giving person. And once you become that person, you're gonna have to request, and then you're gonna have to set expectations.
Right.
See, so that kind of strategies. That's the thing, man. Like, I think a lot of, and I listen to what Kevin's saying, because when you're in that predicament, like, see, all that wisdom you got there, Scoop, like you see, like you lived it, you strategized through it, right? You got solutions. You have now strategy. You can help. Like, if he had you in his life at that time to navigate through those terrains, because I had the same situation. I did the same way he did it. Nigga, listen, nigga.
When it's hard. But hold on. Let me key you on something else that I didn't say.
Go ahead.
My mother brought in this guy into our life. There was my sister Julia, me, Reggie. You know my family.
Yeah, I know your family.
Bruce, Hattie.
Yeah.
5 kids.
Yeah.
He was a bus driver, driving Playland bus to ride all the way up Westchester. And I know you know who he is. You might know who he is. Remember Gator?
Gator.
Yeah.
I know Gator.
That was my stepdad.
Really?
That was my stepdad.
No. My dad and Gator were like best friends, man.
Brother, that was my stepdad.
No.
He had a relationship with my mom for more than 20 years, bro.
Wow.
Portchester's small.
Man.
But you know something? I love that man so much. If somebody mess with that man, they got a problem with me. Because he didn't come in and he wasn't he respected us.
He was smooth.
He gave us what
was the
we
smoothest dude.
No man comes in with 5 goddamn kids.
No.
Liz must have had some good goddamn whip, because I mean she must have put the whip on him. I don't know what the hell.
But he listen. Gator was a solid dude, man. He was calm. He didn't let nothing rattle. He didn't get worked up, man.
You already know.
I already know.
Well,
Gator, man.
Really, I could go into some stories, but we ain't talking about Gator.
Yeah, we ain't talking about Gator.
That's another story. But this man, matter of fact, I am going to go in it just for a minute. This dude was a drug overlord, man, in Portchester.
Wow.
He ran everything.
Wow.
He was a simple man. You saw him on the bus doing his thing, but he was a drug overlord, and he was with my mom. So you know what he did?
I never knew that. I never knew that.
I got stories, bro. I got stories.
I never knew that. Oh my god.
Yeah, I got stories. But anyway,
long fingernails.
Yo, you know the fingernails. You remember that shit? Oh my god! Oh my god! I can't believe you remember that.
I remember that, man.
Oh, I'm gonna say Weasel again. Oh, you remember that, dude?
I do.
I can't believe you remember. Man,
yo, I remember that.
All
man.
right.
This is not good. This is the first time we talked since we was kids, man.
We ain't talked in a long time.
Sorry, y'all. We taking y'all through a whole lot. Sorry, Kev.
Yeah.
This is
sorry, brother.
It's all good.
Yo, I didn't expect that to come up. But the point is, he came. He lived in the Majestic on Main Street.
The Majestic.
He had an apartment over there.
Yep.
That was he ran his business over there, but he lived in our house. And the thing with him, because he always was like, he came to the wrestling matches. He always was like, every time we did something, whether it be my brother or my sister, he would show up. And if we didn't have no money in our pocket, because he always had cash.
Always had money, man.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be like this. He said, "You got any money in your pocket?" And he was the first man that said to me, "I want you to always have $1,000 in your pocket."
Wow.
He said, you know something? If you're gonna be on board, you got to have this money. I tried going out on the street for him. You know what he said to me when I went out on the street for him after the first month? He says, "This ain't for you. You ain't gonna do this." Because I just, I wasn't that guy. You got thumbs and you got the other guy. I was the other guy.
Right.
But if I didn't have no money, he said, "You gotta get yourself a job." Yeah. He directed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And
wow.
So I mean, this man's. No. We are the best of friends today.
I just talked about Gator the other day, man.
We are the best of. I go visit this guy I call him every other day. He's still dad to me.
Wow.
And so when it comes to putting people in place, it was good that I chose to say, I seen this one brother a long time ago. As I grew up, when I got to be a teenager, I was like looking at all these people, and I was like, I started seeing my schoolmates when I graduated high school, and everybody was fat and overweight and all this other kind of stuff. And I said to myself, I see my mother. My mother was almost a professional bowler. I got stories though. But I walked into the bowling alley one day, and out of all these guys that were drinking and doing all, there was this one guy. This guy was in shape. When I seen this guy, I don't know what made me say in my mind, as I get older, I want to be like him.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I want to, if a young guy walk up to me with some shit, he's going to get it. I'm sorry, sir. He is going to get it. He's going to be like, oh, he
wasn't expecting that.
You know what I mean? So all I'm saying is that, something, we have choices.
Yeah.
Right.
Even in our darkest moment, we have to pray on it. We really, man, I can't even say how important prayer is, bro.
Yeah.
It's
critical.
Something, a lot of times I'm watching your program. I don't come on. I just put it on so I can hear what you guys say. I hate to say it like that. I don't, but something, every time you do what you do, man, and I'm saying this to you from my heart, keep on doing what you're doing.
I need to hear that, man.
Yeah.
You deserve that. This was you said something in our conversation before. Yeah. This is what fathers don't do. This is what big brothers don't do.
Yeah.
We need to let that little brother know.
Yeah, right.
That he's a man now.
That's right.
Right.
We need to make him graduate to be a man so we could tell him, when you're a man, you do things that men do.
That's right.
It comes with a responsibility. It comes
Right.
with being, how do I say it? If you do something wrong, there's a price to pay.
Consequence,
You
bro.
ain't,
Right.
yeah, thank you.
I'm gonna tell you something real quick. I'm gonna
Sure.
tell you something that
Absolutely.
there was not too long ago that I was on Facebook and I was going through the posts and I read somebody's post and he was basically talking about ending his life.
Wow.
I said, "Oh man," that it touched me. You know what I'm saying? I said, I ain't about to let you go out like that.
Right, you don't
I'm
want to do
trying
that.
to. I called him. I called him on Facebook, right?
Wow.
I said, "What's wrong, man?" I said, "Why you talking like that on Facebook?" First of all, because Kev, man, I lost my apartment. I'm at the end. I'm not feeling like that. This and that. Blah 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 blah. I said, "Listen, man." I said, "Listen. First of all, I don't want to hear you talking like that. Second of all, get on the bus, come to Atlanta right now. I got a job for you right now.
Wow.
You can stay with me. I don't want no money from you. I want you in a good space right now." He said, "Kev,
That's Big
you
Brother shit.
serious?" He
Yeah.
said, "Kev, you serious?"
Wow.
I said, "I'm serious, man." I said, "Get on the bus right now." He said, "You sure?" He said, "Ain't nobody ever said nothing like that." I said, I'm
Wow.
saying it to you because I love you."
Wow.
I said, "I'm saying it because I love you, man. I
That's
don't never
so
want to
cool.
see. I don't never want to hear you talk like that.
That's what's
That's
up.
Get
so
on the
cool,
bus
bro.
and come down. I got everything you need."
Yep.
Wow, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Needless to say, he never took me up on my offer, but
Ooh.
that's what we need to do.
He's still
You know what
alive
I'm
though, right?
saying?
But he's still alive, right?
He's still alive. He is still
See?
alive. He is still alive.
Mission accomplished, man.
Right.
Yeah,
Mission
And
your
accomplished.
that's all
effort
it
said
took.
everything.
That's
Your
all it
effort said
took was
everything.
that one person
Yeah, man.
to reach out to him and say, "I love you."
Yeah, man.
You think of other options.
Yeah,
But
brother.
most important, I'm calling to check up on you.
Respect, man. That was big.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
For
big.
real.
That was
And
big.
that's
See
what
that,
we,
and that's what I'm talking about. Like that quality of man. The woman that walked away from me, she don't know what she did.
right. Right.
And let me tell you something, man. They don't. A lot of times they don't get a chance to get that kind of man again.
No.
Like I believe this, and y'all can say I'm crazy. I believe that we're gifts.
No,
right?
no. Hold on. Let's back up real quick. Women do get that chance again.
I don't know if they get that chance to get that quality. I don't know. Maybe they do, Scoob. Maybe you know something I don't know. But I'm just saying.
And this is why I say they do. I mean, they're gonna get a woman is always gonna get a man. You know that.
I don't know.
No, a woman is always gonna get a man.
She can always get a body.
Right, she gonna get a body. Yes, I mean,
right.
You know, now I'm
Right.
not trying to be. I'm not going against what you're saying.
Yeah,
a woman is always gonna get a body.
She can get a man. She'll get a body, but she may not get that level.
That's
what I'm talking about. That quality. That's what I'm talking about. Now she may listen. God forgives and God does what He has to do. I get that part.
Absolutely. Yep.
But I believe that when they throw away men like this, right? Because that's what happens, man.
Yeah.
That's big, right? I mean, just to think what you were willing to do for your boy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wouldn't compare to what you do for that woman.
Yeah. And you know what? This wasn't somebody that I hung out with on a regular. I toasted it up with. I went out partying with. This wasn't somebody like that. This was somebody that I knew from Port Chester, and I'm like, yo, nah. You know what? He gave me respect every time I came around.
Wow.
He gave me respect every time I came around. So that's why I extended the olive branch.
Wow.
But, we from Port Chester. And my door is open to anybody from Port Chester that ever wants to come to Atlanta.
We're like brothers.
Brother, you from Port Chester?
Yeah, 914,
Scooby,
man.
man. Scooby, man, you know me because I know Reggie and I know,
Oh my God.
Brucey
Man,
and
you
I
know
know
something?
Eddie.
I'm looking at you. I'm trying to figure out who you is, bro. Yeah, you know something? I feel embarrassed now. It was like looking at you. I've been looking at your face. I'm like, who is this brother right here?
I'm Lisa's brother. Lisa, Shelly, Rita. Lisa's brother.
Oh my God! Now, shit.
Tyrone.
Oh, forgive me, brother. I know who you is. Man. Oh my God! You know something. I'm aging. And you know something. If you hadn't said that, because I can't see a clear picture of you.
Right.
When I see you, but when you just said that, I looked in like closer, and I'm like, oh, I know that. Time is always moving, brother.
Yeah, your mom lived on the first floor.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know who you is now, bro.
45 Travis, baby.
Like I said, forgive me, bro. Please.
It's all good.
But listen, I'm happy to know who you are because now when I look at your face, now I can see. I'm like, oh, I know who this dude is. Yo, you got jacked up. I mean, your body. I remember when you got jacked up. I was kind of impressed when I saw. Like, look at that brother over there. He's doing his thing. You know what? It's cool.
Yeah, you gonna stay working out. That's what's up. Listen, man, fellas, I want to thank you guys, man, for coming on tonight. This was powerful. And Kev, man, and Scoob, you know how I feel about you guys, man. We're brothers.
Absolutely.
It was rich to get caught up. And Kev, I know you come on every now and again on my stuff, man, and you chime in. But listen, man, I didn't know. I knew that you got married, and I was celebrating that with you.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, I knew it fell apart, and you kind of walked that journey with you a little bit. I watched you, because you let some things out, not everything.
Right.
But the point is, man, it's good to know. Like, I'm listening to your story, brother, and I'm like, it's good to know that you've been through it, right? Let me tell you why. Because that's part of character, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you go through like pain and difficulties, disappointment, all that stuff helps build you.
It's hard to share. It's hard to share.
Yeah, and then you can pass that on, like my man Scoob was saying about how to handle teenagers,
right?
Because they're kids, right? But sometimes when they're disrespecting you, you want to treat them like a man. Like, you want to who you think you're talking to. But if you don't understand that you're smarter than them, you know how you should be able to navigate through that, right? And dodge all that nonsense, and then kind of get them to understand certain things. So that's important, but we need each other to do that. Like, we need those life lessons. We need other brothers like, let me tell you how I look at that differently. Let me tell you how to, maybe you should take it from that point of view, a different perspective. He may be challenging you, but man, he may be challenging you out of fear, right? Because already he's hoping that his daddy who rejected him is feeling some kind of way about the rejection. So he's now resisting you. Like, you're gonna stop his father from coming back, because kids think that way. They think that at some point maybe my father can come back. No, he ain't come back now because you in his way, right? So that may be going through his back of his mind. So you got to learn how to kind of let me go around that. Let
me navigate.
Let me figure out how to. Because one of the things that my wife has she had 3 boys, right? And one of them I met him when he was 9. About 9 years old, and my wife and I got married, and I was like, listen, where's his father? Now, I knew he was kind of in his life, but he ain't showed up. Like, he ain't been nowhere. So I was like, all right. Well, so he reached out to a friend of mine's and said, yo, man, that's your man, right? He's like, yeah, it's my man. He was one of my members. He's like, yo, so I haven't seen my kid, man. He was like, I hope he ain't keeping away from it. And this is what my brother said to him. He says, not him.
Right.
He said, that's not him. He ain't gonna keep your son from you. Absolutely not. I don't even have to know. I don't know the situation. I know him. He ain't ever gonna keep your son away from you.
Yeah.
He said, what you need to do is you need to catch up with him, talk to him. He's open. He ain't got nothing to prove. He's a real dude, man. So And
Absolutely.
I said, "Yo," so he reached out to me. I said, "Yo, tell him, man, call me. I've been waiting for him to show up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I've been waiting to meet him because
Right.
we got a son we got to raise.
That's right.
You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
So we got to do this together. What you talking about? Like this ain't. I ain't trying. Listen, I get in when I fit in. But that boy needs his father.
Yep.
I'm the guy that I stay in the gap. He's on my watch, but he needs his father.
That's right.
So when we met up, I said, "Listen, man, glad to meet you." You know what I mean? I said, "I don't need nothing from you, but your boy do."
Yeah.
So whenever you we could work out the visits and all that. And let me tell you how it works. When we talk about our son, we talk about our son.
Right.
Say it again. Say it again.
We talk about our son. I'm like, listen. He said, "Listen, man, I want to do this. Let's do it." He said, "We schedule the weekends. I drop him off. We communicate. He needs this. I gotta get him that." I said, "I'm thinking about getting him swim." Okay, cool. He said, "I'm gonna get him basketball lessons." This is our son.
Yeah.
I told him, like, this is what we a team, right? I said, we ain't competing, not a little bit, not a little bit. And
can I just chime in just real quick?
Yes, sir.
You know, down the road, wherever you are at this moment, say 10, 15 years down the road, just from your perspective and the way that you do things right now, that child or those children, they are going to remember.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They are going to, and guess what? If you get sick, they're going to take care of you, bro.
Yeah.
Keep doing what you doing.
And I told him, I say, he got my money, he got my heart, he got my gun. Right? I listen, this is how it goes. And I said, "You ain't got to worry." He said, "Man, listen, brother, I'm so happy." He said, "I'm so happy that you are in his life."
Right.
He said, "It didn't work out with him, his mom, and me, but I'm so glad that you the guy. Because you got to know when you winning. You know what I'm saying? Because we ain't got that tension. We ain't got none of that. You know how that go. Oh, he trying to do this. No.
Brother, I know how that go. Believe it.
Yeah, you know how that go. We ain't got that tension, man. And let me tell you something. My wife,
I came in with 4 kids, so I know how that goes.
Yeah, and my wife's like, "Listen, no. That he's the man of the house. She gets that respect. That no, ain't none of that. What he say? What he say?
Right.
Thank you.
Right.
What he say?
I wish I could pat you on your back right now, bro.
But listen, man. But God, man, listen. Let me tell you something, brother. I was done. I was like, yo, Kev. I was like, man, no, I'm done. I'm good. I'm my 50s. I can ride this one all out to the sunset by myself. The Lord's like, no, you need a woman.
Right.
And I'm gonna send. I said, well, you gotta fix me. You gotta find it for me, because I ain't picking her. I'm gonna trust you. I'm gonna trust you. I said, you gotta find her, you gotta pick it for me, because I'm done, man. I done picked them wrong ones. I don't know how to pick them. They fine, but I can't. They great stuff. But it was me. But at the end of the day, I found a lot of it was me. And I said, okay, Lord, you're gonna do it. He blessed me with it, man. And I'm ecstatic. I tell it where I go. I tell it where I go.
Right.
But that's the thing, man. But you know what though? You can mess it up if you let your ego and your pride get in the way.
Thank you.
Right? Let that bravado.
Even a good thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Even a good thing, you can wreck it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, dang, man, you messed that up because you let your pride, your mouth,
Big brother,
get in the way.
I'm gonna leave you 2 guys with this one little thought. My thought, thanks for having me.
I appreciate it, man. It was good you coming on.
Brother,
You
I'm glad that I'm looking through as long as I'm looking at you, now I know who you is. I'm like,
I know you.
I like people that, you from 105.73.
Yeah, 105.73.
I already know. And you know what? Let me tell you something how I really know who you is. The Chainless family, not the Chainless Rita.
Yeah.
So, and you was this little scrawny little man. You know I don't mean disrespect when I say that. And I'm like, you used to be this little dude, and you know what it was.
Right.
And then you had this I can't think of this little girl that you was dating when you were 16 years old or something like that. I can't think of her name.
Look, he going down a rabbit hole now. He going down a rabbit
No,
hole.
I know I can pull up a picture of her. I just can't think of her name.
Oh man!
But the point is, when I saw you two together, that's my biggest memory of you. No, seriously, that's my biggest memory of you. There was a little girl that used to chase you in the parking lot.
I'm gonna tell you something, Scooby. I'm gonna tell you something. That girl, that woman that I was dating, that I was with her for 24 years on and off.
Wow. Yo, hold on. That little girl loved your ass.
She did. She absolutely did.
Yeah, I can't say. I mean, I saw y'all together, and I was like saying to myself, I want that new. Y'all had that new look.
Hey, and listen, Scooby.
But you was like, you was a teenager though then.
It's because of her. It's because of her that I'm in Atlanta.
Choose your words wisely.
No, listen. It's because of her that I'm in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? She opened up my eyes to something different and to something more broad. You know what I'm saying? And I thank her for that. I thank her for that every day that I'm here in Atlanta because she changed my life. You know what I'm saying? So
I get it.
The man that I am today, now, I owe that to her. And back then, you know what I mean?
Wow.
So, you know, it's a beautiful thing, the man that I've become today.
Bro, let me ask you, Kev. I'm gonna ask you a question, man. We're gonna let you guys go. It's we're pushing 2 hours, and it's like.
And I gotta work tomorrow.
Kev, I got a couple of questions for you, Kev. And I don't know who else to ask, man. Where's I'm looking. Where's not Scooby? Where's Choo Choo?
Where's Choo Choo?
Choo Choo Charlie? Charlie,
the boxer. He was a boxer.
Yeah. Choo Choo the boxer. Last I heard, he was in White Plains.
Okay.
That's I heard he was in White Plains.
Yeah,
I could be wrong, but he's in White Plains.
Okay.
I'm thinking Choo Choo Charlie.
No.
No, Choo Choo, young kid. He was a boxer. He's a boxer down boxer. He was Golden Gloves too.
Yeah, Golden Gloves. Absolutely.
No, I'm thinking Choo Choo Charlie.
You think
remember the Jones family, Lester Jones,
right?
Sonjay. It's probably before you guys. That's all.
Yeah. Listen, man. We're gonna be at they have the community day at Portchester in August 9th, 10th, 11th, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
You coming up for that?
I don't know if I'm gonna make that. Probably won't. I've never been to one of those kind of things.
Because
I don't feel comfortable going there for that.
Where you at? Scoop?
I'm in Massachusetts.
Oh, you right above me. I'm in Connecticut.
Right. I mean, my sisters live in Connecticut. I mean, my sister lives in Bruce lives in Connecticut.
Yeah, Bruce lives in Stamford, right?
No, he lives in Danbury.
Oh, Danbury. Okay.
All right. And then my sister lives in Stratford.
Oh, I'm right in Shelton. Okay.
Okay. And then my sister Hattie still lives in Portchester.
Okay.
Okay.
And Kev, you're in Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm in Atlanta. Okay. Yeah.
Kev, I can't say enough, man. I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to speak with you. I hope we do this again.
We're gonna do this again. I'm on every Thursday talking about men stuff, man. So
okay, well, you know something, continue to do that. And you know something, with this, I'm gonna try to encourage some brothers just to come on in and just kick it for an hour or two, whatever.
Yeah, man, because it's good stuff. We talk about good stuff, and I know that. Right. And Kevin, man, thanks for sharing that, man, because it was you guys shared a lot tonight. You know, I learned a lot.
Yeah.
The perspective, like I got a different perspective how to look at stuff. And let me tell you something else, man. When we do tell each other this stuff, now we're accountable for what we learn.
Absolutely.
Right. So now,
moreover, it stays right here.
Yeah. Yeah. And also now we get to teach other men what we learn.
You know what I say? I say, each one teach one.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Right. That's right. And
I'm in the hood. So I could go right outside my door and around the corner, and there's young men doing what they do, I stop and talk to them.
Yeah.
Man, where you from? You from New York? You not afraid? I'm from the hood. And why should I be afraid of you? I love you, my brother.
Yeah.
You're a black man. Why do I have to be afraid of you? You didn't do anything to me.
See, yeah, brother. Yeah, that's got to be that. You
Yeah.
got to do more of that, brother. You got to do more of that. More of that.
And
Absolutely.
we have to, not only that, but we have to teach our knowledge onto them to what we know. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I'm into building. I build things. You think I won't pull one of these little guys? Yo, listen, I need some help with my project.
Yo, bro.
I need some help in my backyard. I'm gonna pay you. I'm gonna pay you, and I'm also teaching.
That's right. And they'll do it, man. You be surprised, bro.
Yeah.
You be surprised, and they'll see you as that brother, that guy that took them, and you give them what you didn't get.
All you need to do is pull in one.
Pull in one.
You pull in one, the word will pass.
Right.
You know, the word will circulate.
That's right, man.
Hey, mister, can I cut your grass? You sure can.
That's right.
Come on. Come on, run this lawnmower up and down the hill a couple of times. Yes, sir.
And pay him, man.
Pastor Chris, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for
My
you
brother,
guys. You
be
guys
well. I'm out. You take care.
Get some rest, and you guys get out. And I'm gonna work out tomorrow because you guys got muscles. I gotta get my muscles back. All right, so
here you go. I'm gonna call you Weasel. You keep talking that. Yo, take care, bro.
All right, good night. Good night.
All right, good night, man.
Good night, fellas. Kev,
All right.
good night. Thank you, man. All right.
Later.
All right, peace.